what they mean when they talk about rebuilding. Right? They're like, yeah, we've been tricking immigrant laborers to come there and work for free. To build movie theaters for the soldiers that are going to be there for 2 decades. I was talking to this buddy from New Orleans, and he told me that they're estimating it's going to take 20 years to get New Orleans like up to speed or whatever. And I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take for us to be in Iraq, right? Since we're rebuilding and all. Like, just like they're rebuilding New Orleans. You gotta love it. This is a song about rebuilding. Like the way that Fenty is rebuilding the waterfront in Southeast. I was reading in the Post this morning, and like his idea of, like, so there's that, like, there's this like chunk, right, in Southeast on this side of the river. That's like, it's all kind of like or no, it's on the other side of the river, but it's like nature right now, it's like a green space. So he's gonna make it a real green space by building a bunch of buildings for green companies to have headquarters. Brilliant, of course. We should build it in the redwoods, they would like it there. We could have redwood floors, it would be very green. It's all natural. Abandoned houses, let them rot. Security cameras, lock them up. Raise the rent, create the slum. Waterfront condos, here they come. Rats in the alley, let it rot. Bars on the park bench, lock them up. Empty storefronts, create the slum. Luxury apartments, here they come. Abandoned school, let it rot. Kids on the corner, lock them up. Outsourced factory, create the slum. Baseball stadium, here they come. Potholes, let it rot. Homeless folks, lock them up. Walmart, create the slum. Starbucks, here they come. And it's robbery. Face the poor, fear the neighbor, lock the door. Drug spot changes, crime rate grows. White flight, there they go. Abandoned houses, let them rot. Security cameras, lock them up. Raise the rent, create the slum. Waterfront condos, here they come. Are there any questions or comments or discussions at this juncture?
Do you know how much rent is going to be in the waterfront?
No. I'm a
You want to
Baltimore.
rent?
We're getting gentrified too, but it's nothing like this. Here's a connection. I was just thinking when the IMF and the World Bank and Milton Friedman and all these neoliberals started advising their new best friend Pinochet in Chile after they killed the president and took over the country. Pinochet had Milton Friedman, like the Chicago School of Economics and stuff, come down and like advise, right? And they designed the economy. And they had like, there were rivers privatized, I heard, in Chile.
Yeah, the forests were also to logging industries and stuff. So.
Yeah. So it was like, it was this crazy blast, right? And they called it shock therapy economic reform, right?
Because there had been a lot of like legal expropriation during the Frey and MIMB administrations, and so the state owned all this land, and so once Pinochet was put in, they sold it to private companies.
I have a question. It's like, say you've got like Milton Friedman in front of you, and you're like, you're so wrong. But like, where do you start? Like, what would the first thing you say to him be?
Like, fuck you, man!
No, but seriously, like, they're so learn, and it's such like a. Let's not say it's like Milton Friedman, but let's say it's like someone who's like maybe on the edge. I mean, what's that thing that you say that makes them be like, maybe I'm wrong?
I think the problem is that, and I think I would be tempted to do this too, to argue on economic lines.
Yeah.
And that's like, that's their battlefield, and it's theory. it's like, I don't care what your economic thoughts are, the policies that you support are killing millions of people. Case closed. Like, because, yeah, it'd be hard to argue on my side, you know, but I'd like to drop Milton Friedman off in the middle of Nairobi. Be like, all right, Milton, tell him. Tell him your ideas. You know? Or like Senator Santiago. Like, here you go, man. Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's like, because there's those people who turn they turn their emotions off when they're doing business, and so they're, oh yeah, I know that we're like evicting 800 families from East Baltimore, but we're gonna make the neighborhood nicer. Well, how are you making it nicer? You're evicting all these families, you know? I'd like them to go into the living room and sit with the family and tell them how they're making the neighborhood nicer by evicting them. It's hard, you know? Yeah. But, so in Chile, these economic reforms were called shock therapy. And when reading about that, it was reminding me of reading about the electric shock test they did in the 50s. And there's some videos of this where they had people sitting down and they were shocking people in so many places at once that they couldn't respond. And they also had people doing it. Have you ever seen this test or read about it? Where like one person was actually being shocked, you know, or no, they weren't being shocked, but they thought they were. People were essentially killing these other people because they were just told to push a button and they just kept doing it. Even knowing that it was supposed to be killing this person. But so the concept of the economic shock therapy is like, we're gonna change so much stuff at once that there's gonna be no ability for the communists, you know, to respond. And then that reminded me of shock and awe, right? We're gonna drop so many bombs on Baghdad within 2 days that no one's gonna know what hit them, or have any ability to respond, and they were right. And DC, what I was saying is DC's gentrification is like some shock therapy gentrification. It's like, holy fuck, where did that come from? You know, like, there's a stadium here? You know, like, I thought this was a park. Well, you haven't been here in a week, Ryan. You know? Things change.